Another one. Emmett was the first to live on the rocks. He named them the rocks because that is what they were. A group of sharp rocks clustered together in the middle of a large sea. This was where Emmett lived. He enjoyed his life. Emmett would occasionally swim to nearby rocks, as it was never too far off a distance. One day another person appeared on the rocks, for no apparent reason to Emmett. Emmett named this new person Branch. Emmett and Branch quickly became friends, swimming and hunting for fish together often. Emmett showed Branch the simple cave in which he lived on the largest rock. Soon, Branch discovered a place where he decided to live, also on the same large rock. The sun always shone brightly in their world, and the water was always dazzlingly clear, allowing them to see almost to the deep ocean floor which surrounded them. Though the sun always shone, it was never too hot for the boys. A light breeze always came from the north and cooled the area down. One day, while Branch was swimming and having fun in the water, he noticed another boy swimming. Branch brought the new boy to Emmett to find out what to call the new boy. Emmett said the boy will be called Will. Will was soon a part of the group, and all three of the boys swam and enjoyed their perfect world. At least, that is the story I was told when I arrived today on the island. Emmett, Branch and Will were surprised to see me at first, but even before the night ended we were all becoming good friends. Today, the second day on this newly created age, a strange thing happened. It was not strange to me, but the three boys did not understand what was happening. While I was relaxing under a large tree on one of the smaller rock islands, it began to rain. It was a nice rain that lasted for an hour in the morning. I explained to the boys that the rain was not harmful, yet they obviously still feared it. Before going to sleep tonight, I told the boys I would leave the following day. I told them that while I was gone, I would make a surprising change in their world. They didn't understand, not that I expected them to. I still do not fully understand what happened today. I was experimenting with the art, testing the limits of the rules as dictated to me by Father. I attempted to create a boat by writing it into the world. I thought everything was planned correctly, yet somehow the boat had become gripped by the rock and broken in half. Although this test did not turn out as I hoped, I now have answers to a few of the questions my father never answered. As for the boat, I can see the boys enjoying it anyway, and with that I am pleased. They have played on it all day. Even though the boat cannot move, I have enjoyed studying from it. It is a much sturdier platform than the jagged rocks. In the course of my observations, I have learned some very interesting things regarding the solar system of this age. The nights are absolutely beautiful here. I have made note and named a number of constellations that pass above me. Also during the night, I catch glimmers of light from the horizon which I have not been able to discover if it is... Oh, hang on. No, go back. Also during the night, I catch glimmers of light from the horizon which I have not been able to discover if it is created by some natural phenomenon or by additional people on far-off islands or rocks. I should very much like to discover which. I rather suspect it is additional people, which would explain the appearance of Branch and Will. The rain today was slightly heavier than usual. Just when the boys were getting used to the light rains, a small storm arrived. They were frightened of the heavier rain, not to mention the thunder and lightning. If rain has never fallen here until recently, as the boys tell me, I'd like to discover why it is falling now. Regardless, I have decided to return home for a short while. I have also been thinking of some plans for a lighthouse that I hope to construct soon. I think that perhaps by shining a bright light towards the horizon, it might prove my suspicions regarding additional inhabitants. They'd be curious about the light and travel to discover its source if they have the means.
I see. If you see that picture, that's what a lighthouse looks like.
Yeah, that is, yeah, but it's missing its tree. Like, this is a rubbish lighthouse. So, I returned with many tools that I will need for construction of the lighthouse. 3. I have decided that once the lighthouse is completed, I will leave for some time and let the world's own imagination have control. We have worked 3 weeks on the lighthouse now and are making great progress. The rocks that we are building on seems to not be as secure as I would like. I have had to alter my plans slightly, but those alterations pose no real problem. The boys are quite strong and have been helping me immensely. I estimate construction will be done within 2 days.
Alright, do you want to get a drink?
No, I'm good. The lighthouse is finished, and we are all proud of our creation. The boys are amazed at the structure wrought from rock with their own hands. That evening, we powered up the generator, much to the boys' dread at first, and shined a great light to the horizon for many hours. I stayed the night in the top of the lighthouse, and in the morning awoke to observe the sunrise without my being coated with the chilly blanket of ocean dew I had become accustomed to. It was Will who first saw the girl. She was swimming not far from the boat where Will was getting ready to hunt for fish. Then Will noticed a man not far away from the girl. Emmett was very pleased to meet the additional neighbours. I feel pleased to leave this age. I have set in motion events that have nothing to do with writing or the art, that will have a more profound impact on this world than I could ever have written. I think. Stone Ship Age.
Ooh, it's got a little boat sticking out there.
Yeah. Ah.
I
think.
Therefore I am.
Of it, this age, as a gift to myself that I will wrap up and open someday in the future, only to discover that it has changed so much that indeed it is a surprise. Besides, I have yet another new age that awaits me. It seems I'm going to need some way to travel underwater in this new age, and so much planning is in order.
I mean, it's a bit self-gratifying. It's like, I did such a good
that's
job
just
building
so
this lighthouse.
good. Yeah.
I'm going to come back in 3 years and just be like,
Oh, look what I did. Look what I made.
I'm so brilliant.
Ego. It has been 10 years, since I left this age, which I have since called the Stone Ship Age. Upon returning, I cannot believe the changes that have taken place. The original 3 boys have grown into adults.
No,
and
I can't believe that.
Yeah.
They grew up.
I mean, it's not Neverland. Where am I? Oh yeah. The original 3 boys have grown into adults, and there are many new faces that I do not recognise. Branch told me that it has not rained for 7 years and the cool breezes are back again. They are all very content and have been serving me with new foods and showing me new materials they have discovered. It even seems they have found gold somewhere. I see it in many forms around the island. My lighthouse is kept in perfect condition, and it looks as if they have tried their very best to keep it so. Yet I have noticed that the entire rock was built on has sunk approximately 40 or 50 centimetres. After a wonderful visit with my old friends, I wonder aloud with them what things will be like here in another 10 years. Installations.
And an anchor. Drop anchor and set sail.
Yes, dear.
Asterisk. Dot.
I'm drawing
Dot.
the constellations.
Cross. Dot. Hairy 3-legged spider.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, that's not one. Oh god, they're not ones. Ignore the
No, you just made it worse by crossing it out.
I'm just going to turn it into a cube. That way we know it's not a star.
Okay, so when we come to use these constellations, maybe in the future, we just have to look for this big square. That's totally not going
Just
to
a
throw
really
you
big
off when you
square.
forget about it in 2 weeks' time.
Yes. Ignore the square. There.
What if you think that's a separate clue for a different thing, and you're looking around saying, okay, there's a square. I told myself to ignore it.
Put on there, ignore the square.
Let's go that way around, I'm afraid.
Okay, we have constellations and an anchor. Oh!
You know how books work, right?
Oh, an eyeball. Oh, this is something to do with the lights.
There are 4 lights. Hopefully that's a nice and easy one to draw.
And I think that's an eyeball. And the snake.
But you don't want to draw the square around that. That is an awful square.
Leave my squares alone. They do the job.
Something, alright. All those squares.
Beetle.
Beetle, you draw an ant. This is going to ruin the whole thing. You're going to be looking around for an ant everywhere you go.
Yeah, definitely.
We draw the square first. I mean, these are really bad squares.
You can draw them next time.
Oh no, I already know, Kathryn. I don't even need to know what these things are or what they look like. I could just walk into the room and just do stuff and just be like, yep, that's how smart I am.
I see. Yeah.
I never ever have to resort to hints or skips or look up stuff in any of my playthroughs, and no one can prove it. Really? That's your flamingo.
Yeah. Oh no. Cool.
Easy.
Oops. Right, there are 2 more books.
Yeah, he did mention his library got trashed, right?
Yeah, everything's sort of...
Named it, have I, rhyme.
Ugh.
Age desolate. A beauty, whether that is different than have... Rhyme!
Rhyme, I have named it. A desolate age with a beauty that is quite different.
Than I had expected or imagined. The intricate feathers of ice that fall from the sky are awe-inspiring. I feel as though I could sit and watch them for hours. And though it is cold here, like I have never experienced before, I find myself enjoying the change of temperature, for it is unlike any other place that I have ever seen. Ever. Perhaps the oddest thing is the silence.
Hello, darkness, my
Although
friend.
the wind blows on occasion, when it ceases, there is a suffocating silence that falls on the place, broken only by the distant cries of unseen creatures. I have visited I think he knows what an owl is. I have visited 3 times, and am sure now that this age will provide the environment I need. I believe the cold temperature is necessary for obtaining the correct resonance. Examining the structure of the books is ever more perplexing, but I am driven onward by my need to understand. The great tree of possibilities, not that sort of tree, can never be fully grasped. He didn't build a wall around the great tree of possibilities.
No, okay.
But I must at least try to find one particular branch. On the subject of enlightenment, I would also like to try and find the cause of the mysterious lights that shine in the darkness here.
Called stars.
Maybe. Thank you. Though I have never assumed that I would be able to build especially fast here, the speed at which I am progressing is somewhat disappointing. I do think I will bring Cirrus and Achenar as well as some of the machinery from the Selenetic.
Selenetic.
Achenar chose to stay with Kathryn, but Cirrus was rather excited to come. He has spent the last few days here with me, helping me with the beginning phases of construction. He too seems to enjoy the ice and cold weather. He is intrigued with the crystals that we have brought with us. He has been a big help, as have others that I won't dare to name, mention, or give any credit to. I hope to be able to begin my experiments here soon. Tonight Cirrus and I found a wondrous spot to view the lights, although it seems they decided to hide from us. After sitting in the cold winds for over 2 hours, we saw nothing. It was rather disappointing. Cirrus will return to Myst tomorrow. He has been a tremendous aid to me, and I am thankful for his willingness to help. The hard part of the construction is over, although I have decided after tonight that I would like to add some kind of observation post. I won't be finished as soon as I had hoped, although I am a fairly certain it will be worth the delay in the long run. I've decided to take a break from the construction now that the tunnel is almost complete. The tunnel. And I've been able to set up a temporary space where the crystals will not be stimulated. My. I am quite convinced that with the right diffractive resonance, the certain properties of the tachyon field will be bounced through the inverse chamber down the polaron flux
part of the beam of the main deflection dish.
of the ink can be simulated. Kathryn still finds it absurd and thinks I am crazy to assume I'll be able to view ages with stones. But her unusual pessimism has not convinced me to stop trying. You're such a pessimist. God.
The glass is half empty.
I came too close to success on Everdunes. I am fairly certain now that the temperature indeed does have an effect on the crystals, but I have realized that the temperature alone is not enough. The cold dampens some of the sympathetic harmonics, but a more active suppressor is necessary. I have acquired some geodes with a pure protective crystalline interior. Thin slices of the geodes below each crystal provided a stabilizing effect, and even amplified the clean frequencies slightly. After quite a bit of experimentation... You're trying to gross people out. Ew. After quite a bit of experimentation with the shapes and colours, I was able to capture a blurry image within a book. Though the link would never work, there was clearly an age on the other side. I can hardly wait to return and tell Kathryn. I feel like I should finish the shaft to my observation post while I have the machinery here. Perhaps tomorrow morning. The lights were beautiful again last night. They had not shown themselves for so long that I'd almost forgotten their beauty. I still must find the cause. I am feeling rather overwhelmed with what remains to be done. The crystals have not been perfected, the shaft is not finished, nor is the observation post or even the lab. I have not seen Kathryn for some time, and I long to spend more time with Akanar and Cirrus. I mean, he hasn't seen Kathryn for a long time, but he wants to spend time with Cirrus and Akanar.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I haven't seen her for a long time, but I really want to hang out with my children. Besides all of that, there are, far away in the back of my mind, the thoughts of my people and our lost city. I dreamt again of them that last night. I have seen the city in its worst condition, and still its beauty overwhelmed me. Even now, as I visualize how majestic it must have been before the destruction caused by Viovis and Aegeris, it amazes and saddens me. There's a drawing of a big wizard.
Mm-hmm.
He's got like 7 hats on him.
Yeah.
I mean, 7 hats means he's a super wizard.
Oh, yeah. But, you know.
I am fairly certain that Denis is not dead, as my father believed. I am convinced that there must be some who managed to escape the destruction, and even now continue to survive in separate ages. Within me is an urging to take the chance and return to Denis, to find these survivors and properly rebuild our city. However, I can do nothing until I am certain of the fate of my father. If my plan failed, if I missed a single book when attempting to trap him on Riven, then he has been free all along. If that is true, then all that stands between him and the ages I have now written is the link from Denis to Myst. As much as I wish to return to Denis, without knowing the state of my father, I cannot risk re-establishing that link. I must observe my father without re-establishing that link. It has taken several years and there have been many dead ends, but I have partially succeeded. Now that I have managed to view another age using the crystals, it is only a matter of time until I view Riven. At least I hope. Kathryn will have her ideas about all of these things, and I miss her greatly. I will return to Rhyme later, when my mind has cleared.
And
Look,
you can see
the imager.
Yes, the imager, which we have
A bit
played
late
with.
for that now.
And
Yeah.
do we have? We have
Denis,
one more book.
the art. Oof.
I know it's a lot.
What is all this
plot
stuff?
now? It's like, oh, his father doesn't sound good.
Where's father?
He said that he's the only thing that stands between his father and the other ages is the link between Denis and Myst.
What if Atrus
So that
is
makes
the
it
bad
sound
guy?
like who? Oh, the other guy. Wait, who's his father?
I don't know. Who is his father?
Depends on who's writing the dirt. Before arriving in this age, I was determined that it would be a journey to a world very different from my previous adventures, and it was. The sky here is dark and grey and incessantly displays flashes of lightning in the distance. I met a very old man with a long beard and hair that hangs to his waist. He is very feeble and has trouble even moving. This man has obviously been through very many things in this strange world, and I have learned many things from him. He has told me an interesting story of this world's history. Years ago, he told me, voice, there was a beautiful city that rose up out of the water. It housed many people inside its walls, and the people had everything they wished for. The city was surrounded by 3 high hills, which rose higher than the city. On the east hill of the city rested a large lookout post. The people of the city had constructed the post, expecting visitors to arrive from the east. The people had no means of travelling on the water, which forced them to merely wait for friend or foe. As time passed, friendly visitors brought rumours of an enemy that existed beyond the horizon. The people grew fearful, yet nothing happened. One day, the usually sunny sky became as dark as night, and the black ships appeared on the horizon. The lookout post's attempts at peace were turned away, and the sentries were easily overwhelmed. The ships continued to wreak havoc on the city, apparently destroying everyone and everything. After the foundations of the city were destroyed, the city sank deep into the ocean, and only the lookout post remained. The black ships sailed away.
That's pretty impressive destruction to sink a city.
The man continued to say that 8 people had hidden and managed to survive throughout the attack. In the 9 years since the attack, 2 of the survivors had died. He also said that it was rumoured that 10 years from the attack, the enemy would return to finish the destruction they had started so long ago.
I think they got it.
They kind of did, yeah. The city's gone. Guys.
That lookout post offends us.
Destroy it. I have decided, since hearing the man's story, it would be admirable to save this civilization and stop this enemy's plan of destruction. I am excited about the adventure that awaits me, and an idea has sparked in my mind to provide the needed defence for these people.
Cannons.
Yes, large attack dogs. I can swim.
Against boats.
Against boats.
What are they going to do?
They're really big
Nibble
dogs.
on it.
I don't know, dogs can chew through wood pretty good, especially puppies.
What sort of dogs have you been using?
Dire wolves.
Not dogs.
I met the remaining survivors today, and I have begun work on a plan for protection.
It doesn't really help with the defence of this place. I mean, he needs to get his priorities straight. He's already got 2 children.
After a short absence, I have returned to this age with my 2 sons. Yeah, let's just take the 2 sons to a place where there's loads of, evil black ships that may or may not turn up.
They're not coming back for another, month or year or something.
People lie. They have, as of yet, travelled rarely with me, and they are understandably excited to be here. They have grown considerably since Everdunes, and it's already obvious to me that they will be a great help this time, instead of the nuisance they have been in the past.
This is clearly before Channelwood.
All 3 of us, along with 4 of the healthier survivors, began construction today. We are building upon the old city's ruins, which will provide a perfect foundation for our fortress. My sons have been spending much of their spare time on the South Island, where most of my materials are stored. I am very pleased with their intelligence and their creativity. It's refreshing to see, as they work on some small projects of their own. It has been over 4 months now, and the construction is going well. My sons love the world except for its grey sky. They detest the grey sky and tell me many times they wish the sky here was like the sky in Myst. The old man I first talked to tells me that the enemy is due in 4 months. I feel we will be ready when the time comes. The man reminds me of Emmett in many ways, and I often wonder how Emmett and his people are doing. It has been 6 months of work, and we have finally finished the fortress. It rests between the 3 hills, which are now only islands due to a rising water level that the people experienced after the attack. Inside the fortress I have designed a most intriguing device. It makes use of a technology called holography. I began experimenting with on my visits to Aspamere.
He's got holograms.
Oh, it makes use of a technology called holography I began experimenting with on my visits to Aspamere. Okay, it will be working in a couple of days after I compensate for some small miscalculations. This holographic device will enable the survivors to learn to use the fortress.
It's worth pointing out that the old man said they were due in 4 months, and he's just spent 6 months building this fortress.
Yeah.
So might have been just a little screwed.
Time's a bit wibbly. Yeah. The enemy is due to come soon, and I trust the fortress will provide.
Check that out.
Nice.
It's a circle.
Sufficient protection. The black. Oh no, sorry, cliffhanger, and I flipped the page. The black ships have come. Their attack was substantial. Their weapons have been stopped, and it appears they have turned away in defeat. I could not help but smile as I watched the boats leave. Insignia of the ship. Last night we had a small celebration, and the old survivors danced their dances of old. My son did not understand why the sky had not turned back to its original blue. The old man told them that the storms would never end until the enemy was destroyed. I assured my sons that a blue sky was not worth the risk of death, and they seemed to hear me.
Even though you built an entire fortress.
Yeah.
Risking death.
Yeah. I have had a healthy adventure and have begun work on a new book. Once again I must leave a familiar age in search of a new universe I have begun. But first I will have an extended time with Kathryn, whom I miss very much. I must also return to the people of the Tide. I believe in my travels I have found a substance that will ease the pain of their bone ailments that they have long endured. I hope to return to mechanical age one day and find the population growing and my fortress still strong, though the sky may always be black. I am confident the people here feel a heavier darkness has been lifted from their shoulders.
All very nice, hopping around all these ages, helping the people out and then buggering off. Like, did these people know how to, like, maintain this fortress? Wrong.
I'm just checking. I thought it was a bit weird that he said 4 months the enemy would turn up and then it turned into 6 months. So I was just wondering if there was another reference to time in here. 4 months, 6 months. Okay,
Maybe.
I will bank that for
Oh, that was 5. All 5, I think.
all 5, yeah. Because we started with that one, then we went up to these 2, then we went down to those 2. I think that's everything. I've got some constellation drawings.
It's true.
And a piano.
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 Now, the question is, now what?
Now what? Pages.
Ah, nice change of scenery.
Okay, well, I can't see any constellations because it's nighttime. Nighttime. Daytime. It's daytime. Oh god, what time is it? It's daytime, so...
So, are you going to go to the lighthouse, squeaky wheel, fuzzy buttons?
Okay. A tree there.
Because you're in
Still
a
don't
forest.
quite know what the point of some of these things.
That's because it's a puzzle game.
I know.
There are puzzles in this puzzle
I
game.
know. I know. Oops. There was no reference to Tiana.
Well, don't stand on her grave. Jeez.
She's dead. She's not gonna worry.
Yeah, I'm not taking you to a graveyard anytime soon. Not that that's a thing that I often and commonly do to people.
I don't think I need to go back down there. That doesn't work. Hog doesn't do anything at the moment. We've got our books here. We've got our time machine. And we've got these buttons which I think link with the constellations.
Buttons.
Buttons. However, we cannot see the constellations, for it is
Nighttime.
nighttime. I can't remember how you rotate the tower. I swear we did it. Oh, is it in here? Oh, and we have this too.
It's true. You do also have the weird fireplace with the card things. I mean, if you had magically put in the right combination of squares, that'd be pretty impressive. Now you're just guessing.
I can't remember how I rotate the tower. Yeah, did I rotate the tower?
I assume that that's a rhetorical question. Well, more muttering to yourself than a request for me to remind you where the tower rotation is.
Yes, yeah. I'm not at the level of being like, oh my god, I need a hint yet. I think.
Do you remember what was important about the tower rotation?
He said it would show me Rotation, tower rotation. Books that are in the places of the protection. He said it would show me the keys. It's a key.
There's a key.
59 volts.
Don't jump off. That'd be very, very bad for your health.
I'm just trying to maneuver this.
I know what you're just trying. I'm saying it's very bad for your health.
You don't need legs.
You'd be surprised how few people figure out you have to close the door to the elevator.
That was weird. I fell through the...
It's realMyst. It's a bit clunky. Just take a moment here. Just go ahead and I guess if you click one of these squares, it should save the game. Let's press save. Yeah.
Yeah, we should probably do that. Yeah. Okay.
Question is, where did you rotate over the tower?
Oops.
Beep, boop.
Oh, there was a map somewhere. There we go. Okay. Oh, it's getting to nighttime.
Yes, yes it is. That's going down. I wonder if it's still 1:15.
Nope.
That time has passed.
It comes. Look at the sky.
Very twinkly.
Yeah.
And I think if the stars actually twinkled that much in reality, that's showing you the death and birth of stars at a very alarming pace.
I have a feeling
And when you get that feeling,
that's probably not the way to do it.
my recommendation would be to focus on solving one puzzle at a time. Because if you try and solve like 5 of them at the same time, you're not going to get anywhere.
Trouble is, which was a which?
You wanted to rotate the tower, right?
Yes. So I've rotated it, but
What do you reckon rotating the tower does?
shows you something, but I don't know what. I've rotated it towards the ship.
Didn't Atrus tell you exactly what rotating the tower does?
Something about keys? I can't actually remember, so I think I should probably go and redo that.
Would still be the active message. Unless you erased it.
No, I've turned it into the switches.
Kathryn, my love, I have to live quickly. Something terrible has happened. It's hard for me to believe. Most of my books have been destroyed. Kathryn, it's one of our sons. I suspect Agonal, but I shouldn't leap to conclusions. I'll find him and Cirrus as well. Oh, I should have known better than to have left my library unchecked for so long. Well, I've removed the remaining undamaged books from the library and placed them in their places of protection. You shouldn't have to use the books until I return, but if you've forgotten the access keys, remember the tower rotation. Oh, and don't worry, Kathryn, everything will be fine. I'll see you shortly. Oh, and erase this message after you've viewed it, just to be safe.
No, because we need it in case the person playing the game forgets the message. Okay, so it's access keys. So rotating the tower gets you access keys. So I've rotated it towards the ship.
Question then is, how do you get the access key? By
Oops.
hopping into the
I
fireplace.
keep going in here and
Yes.
I don't want to go in there.
Do it.
So I need to go have a look at how the tower's changed. Elevator.
I was hoping that you're going to get the buzz there.
The buzz?
Close it up. You're that close to pushing the button. It's going.
Okay, so this is now pointing towards the ship.
Or so you think.
It is. There's stars.
Those are stars.
However, I don't know if they have anything to do with. No, don't think. Get that down. And the key has something to do with this. October 11, 19. So this is pointing to the windmill.
Windmill.
Sorry, to the ship.
Windmill.
Ship.
Lighthouses. Windmills.
I don't know where I am anymore.
Is that what you think boats do?
Yep.
They have their sails to catch the wind to mill like wheat and grain.
Yep.
So what do you think windmills do then?
Windmills.
Do you think there are just fleets of
Make-
windmills sailing across the oceans with cannons?
They make
Just great
wind.
Vertical towers just sailing perfectly across the wastes.
That would be cool.
I mean, I guess it's sort of worked for the gorillas with Feelgood. You should also be very grateful that they put November rather than the numeric date, because that would be an American date format and very confusing.
Yes.
The 11th for the 23rd? That doesn't make sense.
Right, so I think this is something to do with the chair. So
Okay.
I'm gonna.
Well, I think you're wrong, so we'll see who's right.
Okay. Oh, why does this happen to me? Game.
I don't think it's the game's fault. You're the one controlling the mouse.
No, I'm not the one falling through the ceiling.
I don't think anyone's fallen through the ceiling
Jumping
yet.
through the ceiling, even. Oh, let's go, see if I've actually come up with a clue. Let's not sing.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna sing, just sing a bit louder. Everyone wants to hear your voice. Oh look, it's now almost a very, very light night.
Okay, so and down we want October. The 11th.
1984. Last bit goes all the way back to 7. It goes all the way to like 9999999.
Oh crap. And it's 10:04 in the morning. October 11, 1984, 10 something. It's showing me more stars.
Can't see them very well, can you? It's still quite dusty.
That, I think, is the leaf. January 17. 12:07.
And that's AD. I mean, they've got our dating system, so
47, 549, 46 even.
Do you want to read that again?
January 17,
Yep.
1207,
Yep.
546. Oh no! Okay, that one. That one is the snake. I appreciate people can't see my book, so
No, I'm sure they're having a whale of a time.
November. Third. 9,791.
That's what concerns me, because we're only in 2019, and this guy's seen all the way forward to 9791.
He knows some stuff.
Got a long way to go to 91.
Oops.
Oh, you missed it. Start again.
just scroll it right back up to the top. And it's 657. That is, let's have a look. Oops.
You in trouble?
1, 2, 3, 4. That is the beetle?
You better be right.
Or is it the cross? Oh no, have I written these down wrong?
No, I think you've written them down fine. I think the trouble is you can't see the stars very well.
No. Nope, can't rub off the dust. Oh, this is a hard one.
As I said, I think it's only hard because you can't see the stars very well.
I'm gonna go with beetle, just because I can't tell. Question mark next to beetle. Okay, we want a snake. We want a... No, don't we want a leaf? Maybe we need to do it in order. Let's just... Leaf. Snake. I did something!
You did.
Ow.
It's come out. Since you've solved the puzzle, let me just show you, because you did this earlier. Hard to see the stars at during the day, right? But you did it without turning the light off,
Yeah,
so I mean, credit where credit is due. Look how pretty it is.
It's a nice ceiling. Yeah.
It's your own little private planetarium with a creepy dentist chair.
Yeah. Well. Okay, so the ship rose. Oh, the ship's
Yeah,
up.
look at that.
Who got the ship?
Your heart,
Can we get on? You can. We can get on the ship.
Don't you want 'cause the pirate is free?
Oh, I'm stuck on the ship. There's a door. And a book.
Uh-oh.
And it's got rocks on it.
A lighthouse.
An actual light. No, there's no tree. I kind of knew that was going to happen, but it still surprised me. I hope I can get back. Oh, is this the place that's always raining? So it's like...
Kathryn, this place never rained.
Okay, we got some buttons.
But I do think, since you have left Mist Island for the first time, that this is a good place to call it.
I think that is true, because I really go for a cup of tea.
Cup of tea?
Cup of tea?
Cup of tea?
Cup of tea.
Right, common tea.
Oh no, Earl Grey.
So, until next time, I'm Raven.
I'm Kathryn. Or Tethys, I don't know.
You want to work on that one.
Yeah.
Here, we'll try this again.
Okay.
I'm Raven.
And I'm Kathryn.
And that's all from Myst. Real Myst, not Myst.
Faux mist.